A Tenjin virtual assistant can be connected to ServiceNow by configuring the ServiceNow skill. Once this is configured, a user accessing the Tenjin assistant, perhaps through a channel such as Microsoft Teams, is able to view a list of open incidents that they have in ServiceNow, view details about those incidents, and add comments to them if they so desire. But other functionality can also be enabled with this ServiceNow connection. And in this video, we're going to look at how KnowledgeBase articles in ServiceNow can be made available to users accessing a Tenjin assistant. So let's have a look here at this environment. There's a single virtual assistant has been created, and let's look at the setup of that. So I'm going to click and drill into this. The assistant is called Tenjin. The Microsoft Teams channel has been enabled, and there is a configured Microsoft Teams, which we'll see later in the demo. The flow functionality is disabled at the moment, and 3 skills have been added to this assistant. The Q&A skill, so there's some questions and answers configured there. The document search skill has been configured, and actually there's 0 documents in there at the moment, but what we will see is once we configure the KnowledgeBase connection between ServiceNow and Tenjin, any KnowledgeBase articles we make available appear within the document search skill, so we'll see that number change. And of course we have the ServiceNow skill itself is configured. And what we can do actually is we click on view, we can just confirm that the connectivity is up and running between the 2 systems. There's the URL of ServiceNow, and I can click on test connection, and the Tenjin environment here sends a message to ServiceNow to make sure that it can connect, and likewise ServiceNow makes sure that it can connect back into the Tenjin API as well. So we know that the two-way communication is happening and okay. And of course, for more details on how this is set up, please see the previous ServiceNow video. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go into ServiceNow and configure the documents that we want to make available in Tenjin. But before we go to ServiceNow, we just need to make a note of the identifier for this virtual assistant. So we can see here that below the name and description of the assistant, there is a code, which in this case is Tenjin Dev-2124. So we just need to make a note of that so that when we go into ServiceNow, we can find our assistant. So here we are in ServiceNow. I've logged in with an account that has permission to make changes to the Tenjin application configuration. And I'm in the default area, so what we need to do is just search for the Tenjin application in the sidebar. Whoops. And spell it correctly. Click on Tenjin Assistants, and this gives us a list of all our assistants. And of course, we're looking for Tenjin Dev 2124. It happens to be at the top of the list, but of course, if it wasn't, we could actually use the search box here and look for that. So let's look at how this is configured. So in the initial skill setting up video, we showed this screen previously, and we were looking at the URL and authentication tabs. But in this case, we want to look at the knowledge tab and what the configuration is here. Now, when you first set up the ServiceNow skill, no KnowledgeBase articles will be pushed over to Tenjin document search. But once you've initially done a setup here and pushed those articles over, then the articles will continually be updated according to the criteria that's specified here. So there is a filter which allows you to make some changes to only send over certain articles. At the moment that's not set, so we can see that actually 90 records match the condition. So in theory 90 records will get pushed over to the Tenjin assistant, although in actual fact only published articles are sent to Tenjin. So what does that mean? Well, that means that even though 90 records might match the condition, only those of those KnowledgeBase article records that are published will go over. So once this is pushed over to Tenjin, there may be less than 90 records. And actually, if you want to have a preview of what KnowledgeBase articles will be sent over, you can click on this link here, and it opens another tab. And then here we are. There's all our articles. And so again, the articles that have the published state in their workflow will go over, but the articles that are in a different state, such as draft here, will not be sent over. So we're going to push these over in a moment and see how it looks in the virtual assistant to an end user. Let's have a think about the kind of question we might want to type in. So I don't know, how to deal with spam is always an interesting one. So if I now go back to the assistant's definition here and click the send knowledge button, all of those KnowledgeBase articles, of those 90 records that are in the published state, they're going to get sent into the Tenjin Virtual Assistant document search skill. So if I now click on if I go back to the Tenjin environment, and we can see actually straight away down in the document search skill, there are 54. It's obviously doing a background update. There we go. There are 54 documents available now. So when a user types in a question or a query, these documents will be searched. If I click on view, there we go. There are all those KnowledgeBase articles. And actually we can click on the little arrow on the right and we can actually get the full title here as well. So how's that going to look to an end user? Okay, well, obviously this can be done in Microsoft Teams as well, but we can do it in the Tenjin Test Assistant button. If I click on Test Assistant and then just type in a query, I have a problem with spam. In the same way that a Tenjin Assistant will search any documents that have been uploaded manually, it's also going to look at all of the KnowledgeBase articles that have been pushed across. So here we go, how to deal with spam, and you can see that the highlighted text shows that the keywords are matching on that as well. Now there may be other articles that also match, so this might not be exactly what the user's looking for, so they can, if they want, click on the next result button. And there we go, so there's another article, what is spam? So there's 2 articles in the KnowledgeBase that are kind of related. If I click, the Tenjin document search skill will always try and give the article with the best match first. So if the user keeps clicking next result, the subsequent results may be less appropriate for what they're looking for. So if I click on next result, here we go. So it's only matching on problem and not problem and spam. So it's actually not a relevant article. So it's just worth bearing in mind. But hopefully if the article's in there, the user will have got the article they needed already. And if they want to, they can actually click on the link here, and well, they will want to click on the link there, and it actually takes them into ServiceNow so they can view the full article. So that's great, that's all working. Just one last thing, let's have a quick look at how you configure those filters. So if I go back into let's close that down. If I go back into the ServiceNow configuration, have another look at those records that are matching. Perhaps we only want to push across articles in the category Windows. So I can go back into Tenjin, so into the configuration here in ServiceNow for the Tenjin Assistant. I can choose the category. I happen to know that this is the KB_ category, not the other article. And it's Windows, we'll put in Windows. Okay, and then I can test that connection, which will then give us the updated results. It's only 4 records, so I can click on that. There are the 4 records now. If I go back here and send knowledge, what will happen is all the other articles will be removed and only these 4 will be left. So if we go back into the virtual assistant here, we can see the document search down here. Oh, there we go. You can actually see the documents being removed in real time. So there we go. That's how to configure KnowledgeBase articles from ServiceNow being brought into Tenjin into the document search skill.